That should be good. And then let me check the audio. Testing. Testing. All right, sounds good. What's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for joining in. If you missed like the last 3 streams, awesome. Yeah, if you missed like the last 2 or 3 streams, we have a bunch of ash here. I'm getting ready to build 10 interior doors. We've actually already jointed the faces and the edges of all my longer styles. That's like the bottom portion of the stack. The top portion of the stack are all the rails. So we have a bunch of boards that still need to be jointed on the face and their edge. So today I'm going to try to get all that done. And then I do have some wider rails, too wide for my jointer. The bottom rails will be about 9 1/4. So we're going to be tackling those probably on the planer sled. And once I get all these jointed, we'll be setting up the planer, then cutting everything to final lengths and going through the router table. But thank you for joining in, boss man. I'm about to start making a bunch of noise and a bunch of sawdust. And actually, I think I actually need to change my bag back here before I continue. And I do. I probably should have did this before I went live. Didn't even think about it, but what I'm going to do is actually move the camera outside and so you guys can see me change the bag. Proper planning. Should have did that before I went live. I completely forgot that I filled it up last night. We'll set you guys about right here. Yeah, I definitely hate dumping my dust bags. I'm not as responsible as I should be. I definitely let them overfill, especially for my dust separator for my table saw. That sits there and gets full all the time. And then I realized, oh, why am I not getting suction? And it's because it's full. What I plan to do eventually, my dust collector will be mounted on the wall inside of the shop. When I actually get it mounted, it'll be a lot easier to dump it. I plan to actually add a bin to it. Actually, without knocking that over, I have a dust separator top for a trash can lid right there. I plan to actually get this mounted up on the wall. I have a canister filter to change out this bag because this bag is terrible when it first blows up. But again, those upgrades kind of have to wait until I can finish this project because the shop is in the middle of a couple of different projects. I think halfway through today, I'm probably going to change up and start building some cutting boards. I have a farmer's market to go to on Sunday, and I only have 2 cutting boards. So I need to make a couple more so I actually have something to display. Luckily, though, I do have a buddy who has a bunch of chickens, so he actually loves getting sawdust. I tell him by the end of this project, I'll probably have 3 or 4 bags. So again, I haven't even gotten to the planing, the routing, and everything else for building these doors. Try to do this without knocking the camera over. There we go. Whew. And doing it while smoking a cigarette doesn't make it any easier. Probably not the best way to take care of your lungs. Let's see. Oh yeah, you guys are looking through that mesh screen, so that probably makes it a little bit harder. Actually, I guess for the jointing and everything else, I probably could leave you guys outside. So let me actually roll up the screen to get it out your way. Might be a better angle anyway. And it feels great outside. There we go. I think that will actually looks darker from out here going inside. We'll probably bring the camera back inside afterwards. Out the way. I hate replacing these bags. And I'm no longer the original bag that came with this. Instead of buying more, I have a bunch of these black trash bags, again, being a general contractor. So I typically just use these instead of buying the replacements because I already have a bunch of these. They are slightly larger than the original dust bags that go up here. But once you throw the clamp on it and everything else, you don't get any leaks or anything. The one downside is that you cannot see the contents, so I am more likely to let it overflow. And I like to get the band all the way around the can, get it facing me, and then I'll double check and make sure everything is pulled up snug where I want it. I wish these actually, they come with like little metal clips that you can tuck the bag into, but there's only 3 of them. There should be like 4 or 5 of them. I saw one guy actually put some rare earth magnets onto his dust collector can, which is pretty smart. You know, that way you can actually hold the bag up in multiple places before you come down and clamp it down. And yeah, again, it's really important to make sure that you're getting a good seal. And I like to make sure that it's running into that little groove. And there we go. Empty bag, and she's ready to do what she does best. All right, let's see if I can make the camera work out here, and if not, we'll be bringing you guys back inside and probably closing the door. Yeah, it's gonna be dark out here, so definitely going back inside. I could put you guys right here. I want to kind of leave the door open, but now it's dark back here. So let's put you guys on the table, so good vantage point of everything. And then I probably need to close that door so it'll get dark. I mean, so the light will look better, and we won't get that big glare. Oh. looks better. That looks better. All right, time to start the fun part. It's a ton of wood to get done, but again, luckily we've done all the long pieces that are over 84 inches. So this will be a lot, not easier, but easier. I want to slide this just to the edge of the cutter head. Most of these boards are about 5 3/4, give or take. But again, I'm just going to expose the full 6 1/8 cutter head. And I was debating on edge jointing while I'm kind of face jointing everything. I'm probably going to face joint everything, move it to the back, then slide the fence back over, and then switch to edge jointing. We'll see. Well, that's actually unfortunate. Those blades are almost completely dull. I can slide my hands across them without even catching any skin. So I will say I definitely have put them through their paces. I haven't gotten them sharpened since I've had this jointer, which has been at least, I don't even know, maybe like 4 months, 5 months. And I built a good bit of projects with it. And yeah, these blades are non-lethal, which is why it's been so hard to push through. Unfortunately, that's like the next step on this process. So I might actually have to end the stream and go grab some blades. I might try to stream a little bit later today, but I think I'm gonna have to take these blades out and then go get them sharpened and see if I can grab another set. Probably gonna be my events for the day. And then I'll catch back up to you guys once I have some sharp blades. We went through a little bit of the stack, but we still have the edge joint the rest of these, and then everything on this front side still needs to be jointed on the face and the edge. And then I can finally go to the planer. I do have like 3 sets of planer blades, so that's not an issue. I just don't have any backup jointer blades. So I think I'm actually going to end the stream there. Oh, that's sad, though. I definitely had the goals to finish up the rest of this today, or well, right now, and then maybe later tonight pick up the stream and be planing. But we'll see. I might be able to do 2 different streams a little later tonight, depending on when I get back from the store. But yeah, appreciate you guys for hanging out so far. I will be back a little later today. Not sure exactly what time, but really appreciate you guys. And if you have enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, check out my other videos on the channel. Also my TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, all under New World Carpentry and New World Carpentry Solutions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.